energetic beings. This is Ricky from the Hybrid community. Welcome, Instagram. Welcome, YouTube. It's so good to have you guys here this Tuesday with Tuesday in Pulse. We catch up at this time uh, every Tuesday to discuss about higher vibrations and helping us vibrate higher with lifestyle, relationships, and spiritual entrepreneurship. So we are on a yoga mat today. It's 10 p.m. here in India, 10:07 p.m. And we are here discussing about how to build a 90-day action plan for yourself. This is to build an amazing next quarter so that you can catch hold of your life and understand things that you need to change, understand things that needs to be replaced, things that you need to add, and there are a lot of things, right, to uh, build and work on your 90-day action plan, which is your 3 months plan. So it's very common and usual that people start to plan their new years and have an year long plan, or to work for like 5 years, 10 years, right? But the important thing to understand is that things are extremely dynamic right now, and it's difficult to keep a hold of or keep a track of your goals for the next 1 year. 5 and 10 years for me personally is like very far, but even to keep a track of uh, things for the next 1 year is extremely difficult to follow through. And usually it's during the first or the second week of February when most of us give up on our yearly goals and give up on our resolutions, and then we stay unmotivated. We carry on our life with a pattern that we have been following, and there's limited growth. And then next year when the reminder comes to work on yourself or to improve yourself, and then it's mostly about feeling bad and then giving up before we actually even start, right? So for that reason, I've started to work on my quarterly life plans, on my quarterly life goals, and this is something that has been hugely and tremendously helpful to me to uh, improve myself and to vibrate higher and raise my vibrations. And I've just been like journaling as to understand how these quarterly plans or a 90-day action plan can really help me and has helped me. And five things that I've realized is that uh, number one, you can pivot, you can change course, you can change direction, right? So if you started your new year resolution with, let's say, losing weight or reading more books, right? So and if you don't feel like at, let's say, month 4 or month 5 of this year, it's easier for you with a 3 month or a 90-day action plan to pivot yourself, right? So if you feel like you don't have enough time to read but you have some bandwidth uh, during your workouts, so why not replace reading with listening to podcasts or an audiobooks, right? So it's quite easy for us to pivot once we work on just the 90-day plan instead of an yearly or 365 day, which is a very long commitment and difficult to follow through as well. So the second reason why I think a 90-day action plan or a life plan or a quarterly life plan is going to help you and work wonders for you, which it has done for me as well, is that it usually takes 21 days to build a habit and 90 days to build a lifestyle, right? So Robin Sharma is somebody who I'll quote here. And 90 days, the reason why he mentions about 90 days is because usually when we look for growth, right, when we look for self development, or when we look to create higher vibrations for ourselves, it's mostly to work on our habits, right? And if you have during the start of an year an intention to build a beautiful habit or build a great habit, it's difficult to carry it for 12 months, right? But when you work on a 90-day or a quarterly plan, it's easier for you to build and work on newer habits, right? So, for example, I wanted to wake up early. I wanted to wake up at 5 a.m. at the start of last year, which never happened, right? And when this year I started to work on my quarterly goals just to focus on the next 90 days, it was easier for me to like wake up at 7 a.m., right? So, building habits, building a 90-day habit for your lifestyle is way more easier when you work on a quarterly plan instead of a full year plan. So if you think this is something that is interesting or something that you might work on, you can leave a comment. I would love to hear your thoughts. What do you think about uh, working on a life plan which is for the next quarter, which is for the next 90 days? And this doesn't has to be like start of Jan, start of April, start of September, or at the end of a 3 month. It can start today and it can start on April the 20th and work for the next 3 months as well, right? So let me know in the comments what you think about this, and I'll carry on towards the third reason why I think a 90-day plan or a quarterly plan is going to work wonders for you, and that is that you build momentum quite easily, right? So it's it's uh, it's it's easy to lose hope when you're working on an yearly goal, because you get demotivated, right, when you don't work on something that you wanted to work on yourself. So with a 90-day plan, let's say if you do would like to read, right, and maybe in the 90 days you just read for like what, 20 days or 25 days. So every quarter, when you take a stock, when you take an inventory, or when you review the things that you have done, it's easier to like carry it forward, right? So 20 days out of 90 is still a big win rather than having one or two out of 90, right? Or two out of 365, which the denominator is just huge. So it builds a momentum, and in the next quarter when you continue to work on reading and you have like around, let's say, 40, 40, 45 days out of which you have read, so it helps you to stay momentum and to create that, you know create that energy to ripple and to make it easier for you to carry it forward. So it's easier to build momentum with a 90-day action plan, because we're constantly reviewing, constantly analyzing what went wrong, what went right, and constantly creating something that we really wish to or desire to create for ourselves to develop, right? So the fourth reason why a quarterly goal is a quarterly life plan is going to be helpful is that, excuse me, one bad quarter does not mean it's a bad life, right? So with a new year, with a yearly plan or a yearly goal, once it doesn't work out, it usually means that it's not good, or we don't identify ourselves as someone who can change or shift or vibrate higher, right? But with a quarterly plan, one bad quarter, right? Uh, you just read for like 20 days out of 90 days. That doesn't mean that life is bad, right? Because you have another opportunity or three more opportunities within the time frame that you earlier used to work on to create an improvement or to work on yourself. And that keeps you motivated for an entire time period of 12 months. So it doesn't mean that we lose motivation quickly. It doesn't mean that we cannot stay inspired with a quarterly life plan, right? So that's another way it has been like extremely helpful. And the last one is that I've written that has happened and worked for me is that your ideas constantly evolve. So once you work on yourself, on any particular goal, let's say for your business or your ideas or whatever it is. So once you put in some work and develop that skill set, you start to understand new opportunities, new ideas, new ways in which you can grow and expand in that particular field, right? So you're putting in the work on something that is creative, something that inspires you, something that you're curious about, and something that is going to really help your life as well. So once you work for one quarter, the next quarter you're much more evolved. Your ideas have evolved, your thoughts, the way you work, the way you function, your understanding about that particular thing has evolved, right? So over a period of an year, you'll notice how big an achievement you've already made, how big a progress that you've already made, and uh, you are going to definitely keep evolving in multiple areas of your life, right? So that's the five things that has made me realize that the best way to plan your life or to plan anything is to plan it for a quarter, plan it for the next 3 months, and see where you are, how you are doing, constantly analyze, put in a lot of data, uh, and it really like helps you to create that shift, to create those higher vibrations in your life that you have always wanted to, right? So going forward, I'm working a lot on understanding these quarterly plans, quarterly goals, and I might also like create a very specific, highly engaged program for people who really wish to change their lives and vibrate higher every quarter. So, if you feel you're interested in that, hit me up. Just send me an email, ricky@hybrid.com. That is RICKY @hybrid, HIGHBRATE.com. Or if you're on Insta, just shoot me a DM if you're listening to this. We'll work out how things have been happening and how you can take a really huge positive shift in your life and help yourself and help your life, right? So shoot me up, and I also publish weekly in Pulse that is on Friday. So if you're not subscribed yet, just hit the link. If you're Insta, hit the link in my bio. If you're on YouTube, just go to my website, www.hybrid.com, and you'll see Impulse newsletter in the menu. Just subscribe to Impulse. I share ideas about lifestyle, relationships, and spiritual entrepreneurship. Right. So that was it. This in this edition of Impulse Live. I hope you like this. If you do, just comment out and let me know. That'll be really helpful for me to stay inspired, come here live, and share my ideas and tips and techniques to vibrate higher, right? So thank you so much for showing up, and until next time, keep vibing higher, stay in love, stay in joy, stay in peace. Thank you so much.